So before the break, we asked which of these celebs was accused of upstaging a friend on their wedding day. The answer was all three.
Thank you kindly. You're watching Monday's Right Stuff with Larry Turner, Huey Morgan and Nadia Sawala. Our final talking point is going to be who'd be a goalie. At best, you help your team avoid defeat. At worst, it's your fault they lost. I'll say again, who would be a goalie? 0207 173 5555. That's the number, of course. Thanks to David Crump. Matthew has just said he is on his wedding diet. Is that all oats or no oats? What was that? Some guy in the pub told me the other day, 3 rings in marriage. Engagement ring, wedding ring, suffer ring. Just giving away one of my lines from the speech. But first, have you been upstaged by a friend or a relative? Natalie Germanotta suffered just that fate last week when she invited her sister to witness her high school graduation ceremony. Sadly for Natalie, her sister happens to be Lady Gaga, and she turned up in full Gaga regalia. What a cow! What a cow! A sentiment echoed, I have to say, by various newspaper reports, though Natalie herself ain't said a word. As we heard over the break, Liz Hurley's been accused of upstaging friends in not 1 but 2 weddings with her choice of attire. Amanda Holden likewise. Jodie Marsh, on the other hand, she was accused of trying to upstage her brother on his wedding day by not wearing anything at all. Class. But what is it that drives people to hog the limelight even when they should remain in the background? Psychologists reckon it's a sign of an unspoken power struggle between the people in question. Or could it actually just be evidence of a severe personality disorder, where you become such a narcissist that you simply have to be the centre of attention, even at somebody else's wedding? Nadia, what about you?
We've got a fabulous narcissist in our family, my Auntie Jamili, who comes to every wedding in black and sits at the back like this, literally snarling and spitting. It's tribal, you know. She doesn't want anyone new coming into the tribe, and just sits there as miserable as sin. And whatever is going on, you can just feel it. But I'd kind of miss her at a wedding now. I mean, it's really groovy having her there.
Have you ever been to a wedding where somebody else turns up in white? I've been to
No,
a few
I haven't,
now.
but my sister and I, there was a big wedding that my cousin was having a huge wedding, and everyone was getting their invites, even my big sister, Dina, everyone got them, oh, where's our invite, where's our invite, where's our invite? Anyway, it turns out that she wasn't going to invite us because we were off the telly and we'd pull focus. Can you imagine that? Because we would never overdress or anything like that.
I know you as I do. I can't imagine you ever doing it, but I can see how people might feel that they might not...
Oh, for goodness sake. I mean, you know, at my wedding, I wanted everybody coming looking absolutely gorgeous. I love beautiful women, you know, why not? I don't understand it, really.
Do you think it's just a woman thing this year? I suppose
mean,
rock and roll, you get...
In rock and roll, I mean, I was playing a show at Giant Stadium in New York City, big football stadium, and my band, Fun Loving Criminals, was having a great show. Everything went really well. We finished. And then U2 came on stage and played.
Yeah.
And, like, they didn't really have to do that. I remember saying to Bono afterwards, I was like, thanks. Thanks.
I mean, men upstage, they don't use clothes, men use cars, for example. You know, the person has a new car on the drive the next day.
You're going to ruin your big day by coming up in a nice car.
No, well, they will talk about, what car have you, or I've just bought her this. You know, you do it you just do different things. That's
No, that's
really
sort of keeping up with the
to
Jones.
a certain extent. You were right, where it's not really
Who's got
something...
the bigger telly and all that men go in for,
Well, that's not really upstaging to a point. That's just toys. I mean, you know, who's the nicer dump truck in the playground.
We're not actually trying to put someone down.
Yes, you are.
No, we're not.
Like a man who says, well, yes, have you got sat nav on that, have you? Oh, yes, well, mine comes with blah, blah, iPod. Blah. Of course you are. We're all the same.
You're just hanging out with the wrong guy. Leave the AA repairman to his own
What
work.
I would say, when my sister got married many, many years ago,
She said bitchily.
No. We've had so long. You think I've got a colourful life? My sister's worse than me. Anyway, when she got married, she went on a diet for her wedding like you did. Now, being the identical twin sister, there was no possibility of me being the fat twin at the wedding. So because obviously I couldn't have her upstage me, even though it was her own wedding. So she went on a diet, I went on a diet. So we both had to lose. Every pound she lost, I had to match her. So that was fine. She still looked gorgeous, and I looked gorgeous too. But I must say, when I look at the wedding pictures pictures now, because when I look at the wedding, I still think, do I look better than her? Anyway, we're twins, it's allowed. Then when I got married, I made sure that I was wearing blue and she wore black, so that she was not meant to outshine me. I'm not on a conscious level, but when I think of it now. But the trouble is, of course, black makes you look slimmer. So even though I'm wearing the blue at the wedding, she was still slimmer on the day. She was slimmer on, and I look at the pictures now, my eyes caught by, she still looks blinking slimmer.
Let's find out from you guys at home. Who's been upstaged? Kirsty?
We have Steph first on line 1.
Steph, good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm very well. Were you upstaged?
Yes, just a little bit by both my mother-in-law and my sister-in-law on my wedding day.
Did you get along with mum-in-law, sister-in-law before the wedding?
Yes.
OK, so what happened?
We still get along now.
So what happened?
Well, my mother-in-law wore, it was a very nice cream, kind of like a second wedding or a mature kind of wedding dress, dress. Knee-length with all the full-blown bits and pieces, and she didn't seem to realise that it was a type of a wedding dress.
And the sister-in-law, what did she wear?
Not a lot.
Not a lot.
A very nice cream dress that was rather revealing on the top, and she was also in charge of doing the only reading at the ceremony, which was a reasonably lively reading.
Go on. Was it from Playboy magazine or?
No.
No. OK. And do you think they were consciously upstaging you, or were you being paranoid and maybe feeling a little insecure on your big day?
It's probably a bit of both, to be honest. I don't think they actually fully knew what they were doing, but my mother-in-law did at one point say, oh, well, I can't wear white because that's reserved for the bride, even though she knew I was wearing a cream wedding dress.
And she turned up in cream instead?
Yeah.
So the same colour?
Yes.
Steph, thank you for that. It really is, isn't it? It's fascinating. Eric, who have you got?
Well, should we get a guy's perspective on this? So, Jason, do fellas upstage each other?
Yes, with cars. Because if you
Do you think that's true?
I do.
It's a different intention, though, isn't it?
Sorry?
What do you drive?
A Jag.
Me too. What kind?
X-Type Jag.
Oh, here we go.
What kind of Jag?
I feel upstaged already. I drive an Astra. But it is a convertible.
See, I think that's different. You see, I think blokes are interested in their cars, and it's a bit like top trumps.
Yeah.
You know, you're just banding things back. Oh, mine can do this, mine can do that. But you're not actually trying to put someone down. Whereas I think when you turn up and
Yes, you are.
No,
you want to feel
better.
You're dressing this up like you're all just so lovely. Of course
Blokes.
you are. When
we
men start showing off about what they've got and what they haven't got, is unbearable.
You don't think that a wedding
it's
is a
more
particular
superficial,
special
I think.
event where women,
Right.
where the bride is vulnerable at the wedding, isn't she? She's vulnerable to attack from all sides. Well, we didn't like her hair, we didn't like the dress. They never said it to her face, always behind her back, in that way that you girls do.
Yeah, because she's got the trump card. She gets the dress of the bridesmaids, and so many brides would put the bridesmaids in the most hideous outfits.
That is true.
Yes.
I mean, how many stories have you heard like that? But I think what men do is more superficial, where it's just kind of but years later, you know about what your sister wore at her wedding.
Yeah.
Years later. I mean, no offense, but like, tomorrow I'm going to forget that you had a Jag.
Yeah.
No offense, but I have a Jag too, but it's not like we're going, what year's yours? It's
Murder
like...
and manslaughter. Ours is premeditated, isn't it?
Well,
Yeah.
It may be in a lot of ways,
Yeah. He didn't buy
You're
it.
just simple creatures.
Huey didn't buy his Jag to outdo the guy in the audience, right? He didn't get it specially. It just happens that he has a Jag. Whereas you turn up to a wedding in white and you are doing that deliberately. Yeah? Poor old Steph. Thank you for the calls. Apologies to the ones we didn't get through. Thank you for Jason. After the break, we're asking a very simple question, really for you parents out there with children at schools playing football. Who would be a goalie? I mean, talent. Since when was being born with big hands ever a talent? You're about as athletic as a breeze block. You stand around for the whole game. You never get any glory if your team wins, and you cop all the flack if you lose. If your son, maybe daughter, came home from school and said, they want me to be in goal, would your heart sink? Of course it would. 0207 173 5555 is the number if you want to share your pain. We'll hear your calls, lots of them, after this.
Forget about saves. How many goals has Brazilian keeper Rogério Ceni scored? 9, 59 or 89? Find out after this short break.